for a while how I was going to start this speech, and I decided to just be completely honest with you all. I'm completely petrified right now. This opportunity is terrifying. And it's not because I'm scared of public speaking or because I haven't spent the past 4 years thinking about this speech, but because I feel like this moment is fragile. I know that if I could put into words what the past 4 years have meant to me and every other Hoya I know, there's nowhere else in the world you would want to be. Although it's impossible to accurately convey how I felt and how this place has changed me over the last 4 years in words, I'm going to do my best. And I want to start by simply listing some of the experiences that I've had over the past 4 years. I've shook hands with President Barack Obama and former President Bill Clinton. I've ran into Vice President Joe Biden, a frequent visitor here on campus, twice. Once this past week as I left class, and once 2 years ago as I walked back to my apartment in sweatpants, which was slightly embarrassing. I once grabbed a drink at Martin's Tavern, which is where JFK actually proposed to Jackie, only to look up and realize that Chris Matthews was having a drink with Toby from the West Wing. I hosted a congressional briefing on traumatic brain injury. And I cheered on Georgetown basketball as we roared in the top 10 each of the past 4 years, and then cried myself to sleep as we lost in the first weekend of the tournament in each of those years. Still a little bit too soon. Sorry, I choked up there a little bit. As a Hindu from New Jersey, I've lived with a Presbyterian from Korea, an atheist from Boston, a Coptic Christian from Egypt, a Greek Orthodox from Ohio, and a Jew from Connecticut, all at the same time, right now. And I'm currently taking Shakespeare, International Security, the Church in the 21st Century, and of course, most rigorously, golf. For free, 0 credits, one of the perks of coming here. In sum, Georgetown's been very good to me. And I guarantee you that the list of experiences that I just recounted are experiences that you cannot have anywhere else. But then, when you go to other schools, students are going to tell you the same thing. And they're going to be right too. Every great university provides its students with a list of experiences that no other place on the planet can provide them with. That's what makes them great. What I want to tell you today is why the Georgetown experience is fundamentally different. T.S. Eliot once said, as Father O'Brien quoted earlier this morning, "We had the experience, but we had missed the meaning." Now, I was planning on taking full credit for that quote, but Father O'Brien is currently teaching me and mentioned it in class, and I spoke to him about it on Wednesday and said, are you planning on using this? And he said, yeah. I figured, he might pull rank on me on that one. But I find that Eliot's words too often ring true. We crave experiences as if they're collectibles, like stamps. It's a list of stories that we can one day tell at dinner parties, at dip ball, or list in a speech like this, like I just did, to impress others. But what's the point in having these experiences at all at the end of the day? That's where Georgetown comes in. When you're here, you learn to think in a different way, to view things with a different purpose, and to allow your experiences to, as Plato might say, become part of your soul. Georgetown is a place of constant dialogue, reflection, and compassion. We don't do things at Georgetown to pad our resumes or to get jobs, although the things we do here tend to help us in those categories as well. We do things here for the sake of the thing itself, to better ourselves so that we can be better men and women for others. Now, the most challenging course you take at Georgetown is a very unique one. It's 0 credits, not golf, it's 0 credits, but it lasts for 8 semesters, and every cent you pay in tuition is spent on it. It has hundreds, if not thousands, of professors, but you're the only student. There are no grades, but there are plenty of tests and frequent pop quizzes. And the assessments you learn the most from are the ones you fail most miserably at. It's both the toughest and the most rewarding course here on the Hilltop. Now, the anticipation must be killing you. What the heck am I talking about? I'm talking about the course entitled Becoming a Man or Woman for Others. It's a course that begins the second your parents drop you off and leave you here at the Hilltop, and that ends when you cross that stage to pick up your diploma, a moment that is terrifyingly close for me at this point. For a class like this, though, where there are no grades, how can you tell you're actually learning anything, that you're doing well? Sometimes the lessons you learn are pretty easy to identify. For example, when I realized that a new pair of jeans placed in the washing machine with a bunch of white clothing will add, let's say, flair to your wardrobe. Or when you realize that putting something a little bit too hot on a styrofoam plate will literally make it melt in front of your eyes. Kind of cool, but not something you want to do for dinner. And that you don't have to wash a bowl if you eat your instant noodles right out of the pot. Using a plastic fork, of course, for maximal efficiency. And then there are other moments that are sometimes tough to put your finger on. Those moments when a change has taken place in you. You know it deep down, but you don't know where it came from. It's when I devoted myself tirelessly to transforming a dance team, mentoring incoming freshmen, creating a new union of student groups, or, most importantly, of course, waking up at 5 a.m. 3 Fridays a year to convey to prospective students how important this place is. It's when you realize how much your parents worked for you to be where you are, and you hug them just a little bit tighter. And finally, there are those moments that simply alter your perspective on everything. Of yourself, of the world. Those moments that Georgetown primes you for, that Georgetown demands of you. So when I attended my brother's wedding this past summer, and for the first time, as I watched the pure beauty of the ceremony, truly felt God's presence in my own life, because Georgetown had opened my eyes and my heart to the transcendental. It's when I lost friends, lost direction, and lost passion, only to realize that these tests provide the opportunity for us all to redefine ourselves, because Georgetown had taught me as long as you have faith in the values of loyalty, duty, and faith, you're going to turn out okay. It's when I stood with dozens of fellow Hoyas outside Dahlgren Chapel, shedding tears with my Georgetown family for the senseless loss of innocent life in Newtown, because Georgetown had taught me the importance of compassion. We find the meaning in our experiences so that we can learn from them, grow from them, and bit by bit, these experiences change who we are. Like most things at Georgetown, the course is challenging but rewarding at the end of the day. But guess what? I have a treat for you all. Now, in no way am I trying to advocate breaking the honor code, but I recently got the answer key to the final. Do you want me to share it to you? Share it with you? I'm assuming you're saying yes. It says all you have to do to complete this journey is to begin it. Because at the end of your 4 years, we all walk out those front gates into the world, ready to set it on fire as men and women for others. So what are you waiting for? Thank you, and welcome home, Hoyas.